What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Gravity Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Chris. Thank you for choosing to tune in today. Hey, folks, we're back at it. How do you stay grounded in a world full of noise and chaos? What are your foundations? What are the relationships, the experiences, the core values? Maybe it's your faith, your family, your friends. What are the things that help you stay grounded when your life is falling apart around you, or when you feel like the world is falling apart around you? Again, for Jaimie and I, it's the things I just said. It's those relationships, those experiences and values that help us not get carried away. And my hope is, as we bring guests on the show, I'm hoping you get the chance to listen to their perspective and that it helps you solidify your foundations. I'm not suggesting that every guest is going to connect with you. I'm not suggesting that you're going to agree with every guest. I don't. And not every guest that comes on the show agrees with me, and that's okay. That's okay. But what it does do, though, is it does cause me to consider what my foundations are. And honestly, it makes my foundations even stronger. Some of the disagreements, it makes my foundation stronger. Although I am willing to change my mind if I'm confronted with facts, with whether it's science, whether it's something different that caused me to realize that something that I previously had as a foundation or a truth in my life isn't true, then I'm willing to adjust in life because I'm not perfect. Today's guest, I'm super excited for you guys to hear from him, Shane St. John. Shane did some things in the military for a number of years, and it took a toll on him. And post-military, he went to a place that is near and dear to my heart. It's the hat I'm wearing today on the video version, Warrior's Heart. And he did some really hard work there to fix his brain, to heal up his brain. And then when he got out of there, at some point, Warrior's Heart ended up hiring him as an Alumni Director. And this is what I love about these first responder focused PTSD, alcohol or substance abuse recovery centers, is they're not just treating the veteran and the first responder while they're there, but they have programs for after you leave so that you continue to have resources, so you continue to make healthy choices, so you continue to do the training to prepare your brain and body for life. And the place that I left, Deer Hollow, they had that kind of program, an alumni program. Warrior's Heart has one as well. My guess is the other places I like to talk about, first responder wellness, Shatterproof down in Florida, they probably have similar things. I don't know that to be a fact, but I know that Warrior's Heart has it. And I'm just excited for you to hear about Shane, the work that he's doing there, and the work that he's doing with some triathlon training. That's one of the things we connected on this episode. Folks, there's really no other organization for me to talk about today other than Warrior's Heart. And you've heard me say it before. It's a PTSD substance abuse recovery center down in San Antonio, Texas, and over in Virginia. And they really look at warriors. I mean, the first thing they say to you when you walk through their doors is welcome home. And then it feels like home. Maybe not every second, every day. Maybe when you first get there, if you arrive, like I arrived at Deer Hollow, man, you're kind of standoffish. Like, I don't know what I think about this yet. I don't know if I trust these people. And from the folks that I've heard that have attended these places, you eventually realize that it's true. And so, folks, if you haven't looked at them today, I want you to maybe even pause the show right now and check out Warrior's Heart. It's down in the show notes. Maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's for a friend. Maybe it's for a family member. But I want you to know of these resources so that if it's ever needed for you or someone else, you're aware of it and you can push them to that resource. With that, folks, let's get into this interview with Shane. Shane St. John, welcome to the Gravity Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, brother, we already were starting to get into it before we hit recording. You know, we should have just, that's what I should have done. I should have just hit record at the beginning. I hear some podcasters do that. Like we just walk in on a conversation on two people, and we were getting into some good stuff. So hopefully we can replicate some of that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea. Just go ahead and hit record because, the real good conversations are kind of
Yeah.
camera, sometimes. So yeah.
And I can always edit it, right? If we get too dicey that for some reason it's not appropriate for the air, although I don't think there's any restrictions when it comes to podcasts. I do try to keep it mild enough so that if someone's listening with their kids in their car, they don't have to go into any large descriptions about how to make children or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes there's I list it as explicit because sometimes there's certain words that better describe the topics that we're talking about. But yeah, I don't want to make anyone explain the birds and the bees to their kids if
Or have to instantly go and turn the volume down real quick or turn it down real quick. Yeah, you don't want that.
Hey, brother, for folks that haven't heard your name before, haven't heard your voice, do you mind giving us just a brief introduction of who you are?
Sure. Yeah. My name's James St. John. Originally from Indiana. I'm a retired Green Beret of 17 years, multiple combat deployments overseas, Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, whole 9 yards. When I got out, and I kind of struggled a little bit with a identity crisis, PTSD, and kind of led down the addiction route of alcohol and pain pills.
Yeah.
Kind of went on a journey a little bit, went to Warrior's Heart, saved my life, and now, man, I work as the Alumni Director for Warrior's Heart, helping the guys on the aftercare of it, kind of building community and networking within the alumni community, and just trying to really just move forward in life, by doing crazy stuff that we're probably going to be talking about here soon. So I'm excited about doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about the early days. You're in the Army. Did you immediately, was there like a pipeline program for you to go into Green Berets, or did you have to serve in some other MOS before testing and going the special operator route?
So both. There is a pipeline for guys to go through. It's called the X-ray program. I believe they still do that. That could go basically off the street through a pipeline, become an SF guy. I didn't. I went to the regular Army first, deployed with them as well, and then kind of decided that was the route that I wanted to go from there.
Yeah. Like what was that thing that attracted you to being part of the SF community?
Yeah, so I came back from deployment. I went to Ranger School, still PFC at the time. And when I went to Ranger School, man, I just loved it. Like, I just loved the thrill of it. I love like fast roping. I loved mountain climbing. I just loved all this really cool adventure stuff that you see on TV. And when I got back, and I went to an SF briefing, and I'm like, and the guy had long flowing hair, had his hands in his pockets, just super cool dude, just sort of chill, kind of laid back, but he could really tear some shit up, right?
Yeah.
He was a bad man. And man, I looked up to that man, and I wanted to make a difference.
Mm.
Something for me is it's like I always wanted to achieve. I always felt like there's a place in me that wanted to achieve great things, and I figured, and I thought that was the way I could have done that. So I tried
Yeah.
out, made it. Yeah.
I love it. There's a lot of talk, I think, and more so here in 2025 than 20 years ago. I mean, there's even documentaries kind of giving people a glimpse behind the curtain of these courses, whether it be SEALs or pararescue or Green Berets. I don't know the Green Beret uh, course that you go through. What is that like? Kind of, and you don't have to get in all the nitty gritties, but what is that like for someone that hasn't, didn't get exposed to the SF world? I'm guessing it's just a grinding training, and a lot of people, if you have a bell ringing a bell, a lot of people who just realize that it's not for them. Hey, friends, I wanted to take a quick break in the episode to tell you about a small change that I've made to get better quality sleep. I've been pretty outspoken about my process in healing from post-traumatic stress injuries, and at the core of my overall health routine is quality sleep hygiene. I go to bed at the same time every night. I wake up at the same time in the morning. I get early morning sunlight to help set my circadian rhythm. My sleeping environment is cool, dark, technology-free. The one area really that I was lacking was in natural supplements. I was taking some over-the-counter supplement, but I really didn't know what benefits it was giving me until recently when I came across First Responder Health and Wellness, and I learned that they had a sleep supplement that was formulated to help me fall asleep and progress through the various sleep cycles. Well, folks, I spent some of my money. I bought the supplement and I started using it, and I've been really thrilled with the results. The more I learned about the company First Responder Health and Wellness, I learned that they weren't just a supplement company. In fact, they're actually a telemedicine practice exclusively for first responders. They provide comprehensive, individualized care to address the complexities of first responder health. They do advanced lab testing, extensive hormone panels, and gut testing to treat patients based on underlying causal data instead of the standard-based population metrics. First Responder Health is a membership-based practice that allows more committed time in the first visit than your traditional provider will see you in a whole year. They also have developed their own supplement line, like I've already talked about, that's based on combined research of doctors like Andrew Huberman, Peter Attia, and Mark Hyman. The supplements help support sleep, stress, and cellular function. An exclusive for Gravity Podcast listeners, please use Gravity 15. That's Gravity 15 for a 15% discount code at checkout. To schedule a free inquiry call or to purchase supplements, go to www.firstresponderhealth.net or look down in the show notes for a link. With that, let's get back into our episode.
Well, first you kind of go to selections, right? And you go try out, right? Do the selection process, which it varies though. They always changing it up. They're always moving phases around to kind of keep people on their toes, so you can't game the system. But when I went through, it was 24 days of selections. Basically, you do a series of rucks, runs, PT test. You get no sleep. The constant smoke fest where they're just constantly making you do PT and degrading you and just, just putting you through the mud. You do the obstacle courses there, the Nasty Nick, and you do all that. And one of the big events there is called Team Week. And they'll set you up in a team. You go out and you'll hike maybe 8 to 10 miles, and you'll come across this scenario. And there's always something missing in the scenario where you have to kind of figure it out. Like they have like a trailer with just one wheel, right? So you have to figure, and the trailer is broken into different pieces, and you have this different equipment, which is basically just sandbags, right? Heavy sandbags, and you got to figure out how you're going to move this trailer from point A to point B with this weight on it, with one wheel. And it's just looking for like leadership skills, how you work within a team together. Are you going to freak out and that kind of stuff when you're on a team? And so, yeah, you just go through those and those events. And then once you get selected, for me, some guys had to go through airborne school if you're leg still, but I went through, came back and moved your duty station to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And from there, it's called Phase 2, which is like a ranger school for the Green Berets. It's called SUT, Small Unit Tactics. They teach you ambushes, raids, patrolling, warnos, op orders, basic infantry kind of skills. And you kind of operate in that. You go through that. That's 8 weeks long. And then from there, you go into your specialty, where it's like your MOS, where for me, I was an 18 Bravo, so weapons and tactics, right? So I go through and I learned all the different type of weapons, mortar systems, all that. Really cool course. And from there, you move into language school. So wherever you're at, wherever your area of operation is, so like 5th group is like Middle East, 1st group is Asia, 10th group is like Europe, 7th group South America, 3rd group's like Africa, right? So you'll pick a target language in your areas depending on the group that you go to, and that's the language that you learn. Once you complete that, then you go through SEER school, survival, evasion, resistance, and escape. Basically, be behind enemy lines, and learn how to avoid, run from governments and police departments, stuff like that. And then the final phase is where you kind of put it all together in a culmination exercise called Robin Sage, where actually all the MOSs, to include officers, come together. They put you on a team, and then you go operate as a team within the areas right there. And that's pretty much the pipeline. And then once you complete that, you're graduated. But really, the training really starts when you get to your first ODA. That's where the real shit starts to happen.
Yeah.
You know, really start dialing in and shooting and getting all the cross training done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the initial pipeline portion, if I'm hearing you right, is just to see if you're going to be able to step into that real world team and have the right stuff, have the grit, have the foundational pieces so that when you get to your first duty assignment, you're going to integrate within the team
Yeah,
and be
exactly.
able to learn, be trainable, right? I mean, they already
Trainable.
knew you were.
The main thing is being trainable, right? Like
Yeah.
I wasn't the most solid guy that was coming in first or second or third on the rucks, right? But like I was trainable and I was consistent. Like I'm not the most PT god out there, but I worked hard, I was consistent, and I'm a really strong team player, and trainable, and that's what they look for.
Yeah. So you did the job 17 years, right? Total Army time.
Yeah.
At what time did you realize the impact that it was having on you? At what time was it like kind of like snuck up on you at 17 years, or was there something before that where you realized like I'm a different man, right? Like this is starting to kick my ass a little.
I did. It came to me kind of snuck on to me when I went and did my instructor phase.
Mm,
When my op tempo really went way down, right? So like when I was back home, it'd be like deployed 6 months, home 6 months, deployed 6 months, home to 6 months. Even when you're
wash
home,
and repeat, wash and repeat.
yeah, wash and repeat, right? And then even when you're home 6 months, you're training for that next combat mission or you're going to schools to advance your skills, right?
Yeah.
So for me, that struggle, that PTSD, the all that kind of really went into effect when I became an instructor and I had a lot more downtime and everything started coming back up for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's actually when I medically retired out of the schoolhouse.
I've heard that from so many folks, whether they were military, whether they were police, firefighters, that and it makes sense to me the little bit I know about the human mind when we're going it's like our defense mechanisms are up and we flipped that switch and we're going, and it's whether you go on a vacation. I've heard that story where someone has been plugging along for a while and then they go on a family vacation, and that's when they get this crashing wave of PTSD. That's where the symptoms of PTSD all of a sudden crash over them and they're like, holy crap, what's going on? So it makes a lot of sense to hear that from your story. The fact that once you got out of that high ops tempo, that's when you realize, hey, something's up.
Yeah, and it's even most kind of like your body's still in that survival mode, right? Kind of. And like, I mean, guys don't like to, like me personally, I have my ego out of the way. It's hard to say I'm in survival mode because of what I was doing, but initially that's really what it is, the survival mode. And then when you kind of stop and slow down and your body's like, then that's when it can kind of let it itself in. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. Like I would have it manifested its stuff for me on a vacation. I'd been working some gang homicides and I'd just been going hard, working tons of overtime. I was on our SWAT team at the same time and I was go, go, go. And I go on this family vacation and literally before I had this heart attack symptom, anxiety attack, just before it happened, the last thought that went through my mind was I am at the Oregon coast. I am so happy I'm here. This is amazing. Like literally that was my thought. So I went from complete relaxation to like life and death emergency, at least the way my body was reacting in 15 seconds with no stimulus. Nothing actually was threatening me or my family. Like there was nothing that, I wasn't a trigger, wasn't anything like that. My brain just said, "What the hell are you doing? Why are you relaxing? Like we have things to fight."
Yeah. Yeah, and it's so hard. Like when you hit that, like I know for me, it feels like, am I having a heart attack right now? Like what is going on with my body? And it's really hard to like understand what's going on.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. The first time we actually called an ambulance. The
Oh,
first
really?
time. Oh, yeah. The first time it happened, we called an ambulance because I was 100% certain. It was chest pain, radiating down the left arm, shortness of breath, room was starting to spin. And I had never had that happen before. Now, that wasn't the one at the ocean. I had had one happen at my house like in March, and then the ocean one happened in June, I think. So there was a little time gap between the first and I think that one was the third one. But bottom line is, again, that the ops tempo is now throttled back. There are no threats. There's nothing to focus my attention on, and my brain doesn't know what to do with itself.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just that body too. It's just saying, it's like, oh, right?
Yeah,
Like, oh, you're giving me the opportunity to relax a little bit, kind of. And then that's when you start processing all that. And yeah.
yeah. Hey, you went to Warriors Heart. How did you hear about Warriors Heart? And was that an easy decision? Was it like, yeah, I need this, or did it take a lot to get yourself there?
It took a lot. Here, a little context to it, a little backstory here. So when I did retire, we moved back to Indiana, and it went really well. Kind of had the emotions of a new environment, moving back home, the excitement of, okay, what do I do with my life now? It's endless opportunities, right? Because I'm out of the military, and so I was working at the VA for a while, man, and I hated the politics of it, and I was dealing with a lot of issues myself. I was dealing with really identity crisis. Um, I hate to say this because I don't like it, but it's true. But it's like you're kind of up here in this tier one level, and then you kind of retire and you come back home and you're like nobody, right? And then and everybody for me was like, it seemed like they were really afraid of me, I guess, like the crazy veteran SF guy, whatever, So I really had trouble bonding with people when I came back home, to include family. And I had multiple suicide attempts. Um, I even went, this is before Warriors Heart. I even went to South America. I did the psychedelic treatments. I did the Ibogaine. I did the DMT, MEO5, just trying to figure my shit out and figure out Merck and all that. And I ended up losing my family, losing everything. And it was October 28th, and that was it for me. And so I decided to commit suicide that night. And I posted it on Facebook, and my older children seen it. And I woke up the next day. I don't really have much recollection of what happened other than what people tell me, but I woke up the next day and I seen all the messages and I seen everything from my kids on there. And I still, at my point, I wanted to end my life. I was done with my life, but I seen what I did to my kids. And my parents came over, and my ex-wife came over at that time. And one of the people that I served with, his wife was a program manager at the Green Beret Foundation. So my wife at that time reached out to her, and she said that she talked about Warrior's Heart, and begged me to go, and so I did it for the children. So that's what took me to Warrior's Heart.
Mm,
One for
yeah.
the Yeah, and yeah, it was a real struggle when I got there, man. Like, yeah, I didn't want to go. I didn't really, like I said, I cared none about my life. For me, I was at the point in my life where, in my mind, right, my manic, crazy mind is, I thought that I would be more, I'm protecting my family more if I take my own life. I'm protecting them from me because I
Yep.
obviously can't control me,
Yep.
right? And that's just no way to live. And that's not a good insight of how you should look at things. But that's how I did it in my mind. And so when I got to Warrior's Heart, man, they were like, open the door and you know how they are. They're like, welcome home. And I'm like, fucking whatever. I don't care about your home, whatever. And I just started hearing people talk and sharing their stories and realized I wasn't the only dude that's going through this, man. And that kind of gave me a little bit of hope in a selfish kind of way. But it's what I needed.
Yeah, and hope. That's a good way of saying it, Shane, because both in 2010 when I first dealt with this stuff, and then in 2023 when I checked myself into a PTSD center, um, I needed hope because I was scared, and I was scared, and I didn't know if I was going to get fixed. Right? Like how do you get through this? And I hate what you went through, brother, but I'm telling you, especially with, and you're a humble dude. We've had other conversations, so Your resume doesn't matter, but your resume does matter. And because of your resume, you get permission to talk to people. People will listen to you share your story. And so I hate again that you went through what you went through. I hate that I went through what I went through, but uh but it qualifies us, I think, for people to go, I'm sorry, what'd you do? I'm sorry, you wanted to kill yourself? Maybe I will listen to this dude for a little bit. Maybe he has something to share. Maybe he does understand a little bit of what I got going on inside my head right now.
Yeah. And it's that hidden war that we never talk about, that people don't want to talk about, right?
Yeah.
And I think through this journey of, like I told you, I went to Warriors Heart for my children only. But
Yeah.
through the process, I kind of started finding myself again, right? And
Mm.
finding that purpose and stuff. But going back to it, a lot of times, man, it is scared, it is frightening. I didn't want to like face what was going on inside my head because I didn't even know how to face it. And I let it brew for so long that because of my ego, that I'll just power through this to the point of, yeah, where it became that suicidal attempts and suicide attempts and stuff like that, man. And it's just, now I look at it now though, is like, yeah, I'm sorry that you had to go through it. I am sorry that I had to go through it, but I wouldn't be where I am today without have going through that.
Yeah.
I really truly feel like I found my passion in helping others, because of that, right? Like I look at people in a different light now, and I'm more loving and understanding and a lot more compassion for people where I had none before.
Yeah. Me too.
And I mean, honestly, I'm thriving better than I have probably my entire life now. Like I feel like I am me and who I'm supposed to be, if that makes sense.
100%. I've had people ask me, what would you can talk to your 18-year-old self. What would you tell yourself to do different? Well, I mean, there's times that I was a jerk that I would have rather not have been a jerk in those circumstances or whatever. But when it came to the big decisions I made, I don't know that I would have made them different, right? Like I still would have joined the military. I still would have joined policing. I still would have worked in child crimes, even though that's the stuff that really bothered me a lot because it gave me perspective and it's caused me to land here. And I'm not perfect. Like I still, yeah, you and I have talked, we're still doing the work to live healthy lives. But like you said, I did not have compassion for other people. Maybe better said is I couldn't be empathetic. If
Yeah,
someone told me that they were depressed, I'd have been like, dude, go for a run.
yeah,
Like pull your head out of your butt and just go like feel better. And so now, as my adult daughters have struggled with depression, like I get it. I have physically been depressed to where I feel it in my body. Like I feel pain in my body, and there's no stimulus outside of the body causing the pain. It's physical depression that's like all over me. And so I understand if someone looks at me and says I'm depressed, and be like, oh wow. And yeah, going for a run does help, but that's not all I'm going to say, right? There's a lot of other things that you can do, and to understand that hey, you're not broken, dude, or
yeah,
dudette. You're not broken. You can be okay. It's just going to take some work, and there's people like me that are willing to walk with you while you do it.
yeah, exactly, man. And it's just like, yeah, you are broken, right? And it's like, but it's like I understand how hard it is to change that mindset to push through it. Like before, I'm like, yeah, no compassion. Like, man, just fucking drive on, man. Like, figure it out. Like, change your life then. But to really kind of be in it and to understand actually how hard it is to change your life, it's challenging for guys. Absolutely. It's scary too to face those demons that we've had to deal with and the demons and the shit that we caused during our mental struggles and our addiction. And I had a real stigma against addiction addicts too before this. I'm like, just stop using, bros. Go get help, right? Like, stop. Like you did this to yourself.
Yeah,
And that's completely the wrong mindset to have.
yeah.
I was 100% wrong on that. And I
I,
own, you know,
I'm laughing just because again, I was a cop on the streets of America, right? I'm out arresting people and putting them in jail for drug possession and I don't I still think that we have to legislate that personal opinion because Washington State did some experiment where we pretty much legalized all hard drugs for a year and a half, 2 years, and it did not make things better. It made things a whole lot worse up here. And but I didn't have compassion for folks in those situations. And when I found myself in a PTSD recovery center where I have a 19-year-old technician looking at me in the morning saying, "Chris, it's your day. Come pee in a cup." And they wouldn't be cavalier with that. They were actually really good at their jobs. But then I had to go up afterwards after breakfast and be, "Hey, can I take my vitamin C?" I had to ask permission to take vitamin C, Shane,
Yeah.
right? And so I lived, even though I wasn't an addict on drugs, I was misusing alcohol. And I say it like that because some of my buddies have said, "Chris, you weren't a real alcoholic because you quit cold turkey." And whatever. I don't care. Doesn't matter whether the title's on me or not. I was misusing and abusing alcohol. That's what I was doing, and I didn't think I could quit, and
Yeah.
I didn't want to quit. I literally thought to myself, probably a month or two leading up to kind of my breaking point. I don't know if I want a life without alcohol. I love Friday, Saturday, and Sunday so much because I get plastered all weekend.
Yeah.
I don't think I want a life without this stuff.
Yeah. And to the point of what you just talked about, like, was your life unmanageable with alcohol?
Say that
I'm asking,
again.
was your life unmanageable with alcohol?
At the time I didn't have any other way to manage it, right? Like I would have been freaking out with anxiety most of the time.
Definition. That's the definition of an alcoholic.
Yeah.
People like to put stigmas on it, like, well, bro, you didn't wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning slamming freaking a fifth, and
Yeah.
that's an alcoholic or having the shakes. That's an alcohol. Was your life unmanageable?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Then it was a good thing that you were able to do that, you know?
That's why people don't get help though, is because we compare ourselves with each other. That's why I wasn't getting help. I was comparing myself against people that had it worse off than me. I'm like, I'm good.
And I used to do the same thing too, man. And I learned through this process too. A lot of guys, I tell them too all the time when I'm talking to guys, it's like, they're like, a lot of times they'll be like, well, I wasn't a Green Beret and I didn't see what you did. Just stop, 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 dude. I don't care. Like, I care that you're struggling with something that
Yeah.
is preventing you from moving forward in your life. It has nothing to do with me, and do not trauma comparison. Like, I really try to nick that in the bud because it doesn't matter what you've been through, man. If you have something that's holding you back from thriving in your life, then that's something that we need to work through
Yeah.
together and
Yeah.
move forward so that you can thrive, so your children can have the best life possible, right? And you and your family, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, walking in Welcome Home, that was not, that didn't connect with you at first. You were like, whatever. When did it connect? When did the Warrior's Heart experience journey? When did the things happen in there? When did you have that moment of, okay, this is actually helping me?
Tom Spooner. Tom Mother effing Spooner. I love that man. He's a mentor of mine. So it was my very first fireside meeting, and we would do these fireside meetings where people come and they would share their story of strength and hopes and how they're doing beyond recovery, right? After recovery and stuff like that. And I happened to be Tom came to share his story through his addiction and through his military career. And man, I just sat there and I just heard so many similarities, man, with the childhood stuff and the way he was acting with his addiction and being a Delta operator, man. I had a lot of respect for them and to see that he went through a lot of things that I went through together or that I went through like he did, and he came out on the other side, and now look what he's doing with his life. And afterwards, I went up and talked to him, and we probably talked for like 2 hours afterwards, just standing there in fire pit, and he's I got that initial taste of hope. And he looked at me and he's like, Shane, I just need you to do three things, man. I'm like, all right, well, what are they? I'll tell you if I can do them or not. He's like, oh, it's pretty basic military shit. And I'm like, okay, be at the right place, the right time, and the right uniform, and we'll take care of the rest. You think you can do that? I was like, yeah, that's pretty standard. I think I can do that, man. And from there on, it just kind of like I started paying attention more. I started listening to guys more, and I started really kind of hearing their stories and how we related, and that started a journey for me, man. Hearing Tom's story.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
I love that, dude. The thing I love about that is, um, I mean that's the reason why you share your story now. As my guess
yeah,
is because you know you can be that same catalyst to someone else. You can be the one that someone else goes, "Hey, I kind of relate with this guy named Shane,
yeah,
and maybe I can fix this stuff. Maybe my brain can get healed up to where I'm not having this chaos and going on inside of me."
yeah. And I hope so. That is exactly why I share, man. If I share a million times my story and one guy or one girl decides that they can do it after hearing that, then I will share it a million freaking times, and it's just, and honestly, it helps me by being vulnerable. It helps me to grow out of myself too. Because man, talk about my feelings, I'd much rather be in a gunfight, right? I mean, it's just 100%. Before then, before this, so that's just a way for me to be personal growth and kind of help reach guys and just, yeah, I just want to pay forward the gift I was given, and let guys know it's like no matter how bad you burned it down, man, you can get your life back, and it could be even better than what you thought you had it before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like what you just said there. It can be better than you thought you had it before. You were married to someone, Shane, and that didn't work out. And you're the one that's standing up here right now saying it could be better than you thought you had it before.
yeah,
It's going to
thank
be different, and it's okay to be different.
you. Yeah.
I think
And
we,
it is completely different, and that is an adjustment. It
yeah.
really is. Um, I think the biggest lesson for me going through this is showing myself some grace through that process,
Mm,
allowing myself to be in those feelings, right? Like you said, man, like, yeah, I don't have much. I live in a two-bedroom apartment in Indiana, dude. Like, like I had a nice house and a beautiful wife and great kids in that time, and I had it all. But I wasn't happy. I just wasn't. I had too much trauma to process, and now I have a purpose. Like for me, man, like what I'm doing now and trying to help guys and being part of this Warriors Heart community is more important than anything I personally did downrange.
mm,
Because for me, man, it ain't about fucking people we kill, dude. It's about the people we save. You know what I'm saying? And that's
mm.
just it means a lot to me, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because just to know where I was at, mentally defeated I was, and knowing other guys that are still out there going through that same struggle, man, it's scary. There's no place to be. Or
Yeah. Hey, you and I have some common things we're doing right now to take care of ourselves. But before we get into that, I wanted to hear about what is your job? Alumni coordinator. I think that's the title you said. What do you do as the alumni coordinator?
yeah. So I run kind of the alumni program. I'm actually alumni director
Director.
um, for Warriors Heart. And what that tells is I'm just bringing all the guys together in a community, right? Because we need that, right? Like a lot of times when I was going in and I was doing my addiction, even in the military, man, just give me a house in the mountains in the middle of nowhere and just let me be, right? Just let me be. No, man, we need people, we need community, we need that brotherhood, we need those teammates, right?
Yeah.
Everything that I've ever done in life, I've done as a team. Why in the hell do I think I need to tackle my addiction, my mental health as an individual? No, I need a team, right? So when you come out of treatment, it's really important. It's the most critical time is your vulnerability. And a lot of guys, like for me, they lose their family, and then what? You sit in an empty house all day and you work sometimes, or you're going to end up drinking. So I'm really trying to bridge the gap of bringing people, alumni together in their local states. Just because they didn't go through the program at the same time together means they still don't have that bond that we can form, right?
Yep.
I'm bringing that together through like the WAs, Warriors Anonymous, and stuff like that. And I'm just trying to bring guys together so they can continue their healing journey And then I'm helping orchestrate like, other kinds of like reboot campaigns or Boulder Crest or other after treatment stuff that can continue their treatment. And helping guys, we call this thing called the QRF, Quick Reaction Force. And it's just about supporting the veterans and the law enforcement and firefighters, right? So if I come across a guy in Bozeman, Montana, who's struggling, who's let's say he's a vet, right? And the VA won't allow him to go, even though he falls within what they call the Mission Act, right? So then and he's just too mentally challenged to understand and navigate this complex system of the VA. So I'll try to find a battle buddy in his area that can peer up with him and be that guy that's next to him going through the appointments and writing the notes down for him or taking him to the appointment, right? Just service work, giving guys, helping channel guys and organizing guys to be able to give back to the community and pay it forward. And through that also, we're building up the WA community, Warriors Anonymous. I'm not here to run the meetings. I'm not here to tell them what to do. I'm just here to seed and nurture, right? If they need assistance, I help guys find locations, get them going. I give them the books and the networking. And then as guys are coming through the program, I'm gonna start feeding them to their locations of where their state is. And that's really the alumni program right now.
For Warriors Anonymous, is everyone that attends that, are they all graduates of Warriors Heart of inpatient, or is it broader than that?
It's way broader than that. Yes, Warriors Anonymous is separate from Warriors Heart. Okay.
Okay.
Tom Spooner and Josh Lannon, they started Warriors Anonymous, and
Okay.
it's an umbrella under AA. So it's an actual specialty group, but
Okay.
it's not to try to convince guys to go to Warriors Heart. That
Yeah.
is not the purpose of WA. It's just to bring like-minded people for like police officers in their areas, right?
Yeah.
That might have an alcohol or an addiction problem. It's hard for them to go open up at an AA meeting when they might have arrested a few of the guys in the meetings with them, right? So this kind of gives
100.
them that area where they can be that vulnerability at and be with like-minded people, right? I still encourage guys to go to connect in outside meetings. It's for community, but it gives the police officers, firefighters that opportunity to be that vulnerability where they have to be so strong when they're in duty, right?
Yeah.
Um,
No copper
way
firefighter.
beyond Warriors are. You do not have to. I want to make that clear right now. You do not have to be an alumni to attend a WA meeting.
See, that's huge because I've had people reach out to me specifically in the region. I mean, the area I live is about 300,000 people. And I've had people reach out to me and say, "Hey, Chris, are you aware of a first responder focused or first responder only is probably a better word, AA group?" And I haven't been. And so that's why I was asking because I get it if it was Warriors Heart alumni only. And I see there being a huge need for this and for some people just to have that kind of support is huge. And you don't feel safe. You don't feel safe walking into the standard AA meeting. I'm just telling you, you don't. Because, like you said, you're looking around the room, and as soon as you recognize a couple of people you've arrested, you're going to have a freaking amygdala reaction to that. You're gonna be in fight and flight mode, like keeping an eye on people and moving your back towards the wall. And you know what I'm saying? You're not going to feel safe, and you got to feel safe if you're going to actually sit there and be real with this group of people.
Yeah, and you're going to heal, right? Like you got to feel safe. Like
Yeah.
you truly want to heal. You can't be in fight or flight mode the entire time, which you would be, right? And and it's not about that. It's just, yeah, it's like so any of your guys that approach you, you could absolutely give them my contact number. And if there's not one in their area, I can help them establish one in their area.
I love it.
Like I
I
said,
love
they
it.
don't have to be an alumni. This is way bigger than the Warrior's Heart, right?
Yeah.
So it's about healing. That's what I
And that,
love about Josh and Tom, man. And Lori and Lisa, man. They care for the mission so much. And that's what the priority is for them, you know?
yeah. And that's why
Oh,
I wear their stuff and I talk about them all the time because that's what I have felt consistently from them is that they're concerned about this warrior class of humans, whether it be veterans or first responders, and they're coming up with solutions to actually help people.
and then they came up with solutions that actually did help. It saved my life, man. I don't have no hesitation saying that. They saved my life.
Yeah.
I did work, but I couldn't have done that work if they didn't provide that service,
Yeah. You
right?
had to have the space. You had to have the space to where you could do the work. And that's what they've
Exactly.
created.
Exactly. I tell guys all the time, like, they're coming through, I'm like, Warriors Heart is really what's so great about them is they provide that safe, vulnerable space where guys can be vulnerable. And the clinicians are amazing, their top line, all the staff is amazing, but it's that sitting around the fire pit, talking to your battle buddies and sharing your experiences and realizing that we're like not alone. That gives them the hope to reach out to the clinicians to really start opening up and then start really dialing in what's going on in the head. If you don't have that hope or that willingness to do that from learning that through your battle buddies, then the rest of it kind of disappears, right? And I think that's a lot of times where like the VA and a lot of these other kind of treatment centers kind of like lack at because it's all clinicians focus where it's like we're warriors healing warriors, and that's what gets it going, if that makes sense.
Oh, 100%, brother. My biggest breakthrough happened on a Sunday night in the living room at 9 o'clock at night. And I couldn't go to sleep. And I went back upstairs to the living room. And I had about another 4 or 5 clients in there. And I told them what I was struggling with, and why I thought some of the therapy they were trying to get us to do was a bunch of hokey pokey. And it was my fellow clients, my brothers, that made a few comments to me and just caused the light bulb to come on. And I was like, I get it. I get how this is relevant to me now. And then the therapy work that we did during the week just took off after that. And that was like day 16 or 17, if I remember. I can't remember. But bottom line was it was a big, huge, pivotal moment. But it didn't happen we called it the pain box where we did all of our work. And this was in the living room. This wasn't in the pain box. Uh, but yeah, that's the beauty of it. And what I love about Warriors Heart is it truly is warriors only. I went to a different facility that is first responder focused, and we only had a few people that weren't first responders in our group, and all but one of them were a perfect fit. All but one of them like totally meshed with us. The one that didn't ended up leaving because if he didn't leave, we were going to make him leave. And thankfully, it all worked out. I'm not saying everything was up and up. I think it didn't happen quite as fast as us clients wanted it to happen, but I think it happened as it probably should have when you look at medical care and the process that they should have followed to give him an opportunity, and then it worked out better for him to go somewhere.
Sometimes people just need a higher level of care.
Yes, that's actually exactly what it was. That's 100% what it was. Probably a fine human in some way, but he wasn't gelling with us. He was not gelling with us, and all of us were on fight or flight mode for a
Yeah.
while there
And
because
we have those clients that come through as well that sometimes need a higher level of care,
yeah, yeah. That's a good way of saying it. Actually, I really like you saying that, just because I'm using that as an example because this guy wasn't a first responder or a veteran. But the reality is you could have a first responder or a veteran that doesn't gel with the group, and they do need a higher level of care. Maybe down the road they might fit in really good in the traditional Warriors Heart, facility, campus. That's a better word. It's more like a ski lodge. Um,
Treat.
yeah, they might fit in great there, but not right now. They just don't because
Yeah.
of everything they got going on.
Yeah, exactly. And it happens quite often. I mean, we do screenings for that to kind of help prevent that. But, you know, the great thing about Warriors Heart too, man, is I love this aspect of it's like you still come here and they realize like, yeah, you need a little bit higher level of care. They're just not going to kick you out. They're going to
Totally.
find, we're going to find that higher level of care for you, make sure it's all coordinated
Yeah.
and we'll make sure that you got transport ways of getting to it, right? And receiving that higher level of care. And then you're always welcome back.
And
So
that's probably what took so long with this guy too, is because I know that's what they did. I know that they were finding somewhere else that was more appropriate for him to go with what he had going on. And whether he chose to go or not, obviously we didn't know that, but he was sharing enough with us that we were learning things of what the clinicians were doing, what they couldn't share with us, but he was sharing it with us as a client. And so we
yeah.
had an idea that, yeah, they're trying to work through this thing, and eventually it worked out for hopefully for him. Hopefully he's in a good spot at this point. What are you doing now, brother? And I know the answer to it, but let's launch into this part of the conversation. You and I are both on some journey when it comes to us pushing our bodies and our minds. What are you doing right now to take care of your brain and body?
Yeah, so right now I'm doing two Ironmans this year.
Yes.
Yeah. Doing the half in June 8th here in a month and a half, and then I'm gonna do the full September 20th. I'm doing them both in Maryland. And I'm gonna say, and this has been part of my kind of recovery is challenging myself. I really love to keep pushing myself to see how far my limits are, and just keep moving forward. So I decided to tackle on two Ironmans.
Why
And
not, right?
well, it's kind of funny. People laugh at me when I say, "What? Where did you come up with this idea?" I was in the TikTok rabbit hole one night, and I came across this video, and it was just really inspiring. And it was his brother. He was completely paralyzed, and he always wanted to be an Ironman. He got paralyzed through a wreck, and he always wanted to be an Ironman. So his brother said, "I'll take you through the Ironman process." So his brother trained and took and pulled him through and pushed him through the entire Ironman. Like he was on a raft, he did the swim, he pulled him behind on his bike, and then he pushed him on a big ass stroller on the run for the full Ironman. Man, I teared up on that, and I was like, that's my next one. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I've seen that video. In fact, I have it that falls within my reel loop probably once a week. And
yeah,
it's a good motivator, dude.
motivator.
When I'm sitting there, pissing and moaning about, oh, my body hurts or whatever it is that's going on. I don't want to do that hill workout today. And I see that video, it's like, screw it. Like, this is why I'm doing this right now for the same reason as you. I want to push myself and weekly at least. I don't think it's daily. Weekly, I think to myself during a training session, I don't know if I can do another set
Yeah,
or better said, about another rep. I don't know if I can do another rep. And I push through it and I do it. And it's constantly reaffirming, dude, you are a lot tougher than you think you are. When your body is screaming, I can't do this, or I guess my brain is screaming it, my body actually can, and I just need to push through.
yeah, exactly. And I always revert back to David Goggins in that book. You know who David Goggins is? Yeah. Come on, you gonna stop, and I have that saying, man, sometimes multiple times in one week, especially on a swim. I start getting in my own head, like, you can't do this, you can't swim, you're gonna drown, like you're gonna fail, you're not gonna meet the one cutoff time of the swim. And and I still worry about that right now. I'm still not where I want to be with that swim, but I'm staying consistent with it. I'm in the pool 3 days a week. I'm starting swimming lessons next week. And got to trust the process. And that's part of this challenge, though, is it's take doing something that I'm not good at.
Yeah.
Like I haven't rode a bike since I was probably 14 years old. I can run, but for me to swim and bike, those are really challenging things for me. And that's part of this is taking myself to my limits and doing stuff I'm not good at, right?
Yeah, 100%. I'm in the same boat with the swim. I I am painfully slow and I get bored with it. It's just like, oh my gosh, with running, the scenery's changing around me. I'm I'm thinking about my pace. I'm seeing a turn coming up. I'm watching traffic. I'm watching cars. There's a lot going on with my brain when I'm out running. Not to mention I actually like it. And when I'm out swimming, I'm doing it in a lap pool. So like it's freaking Groundhog Day over and about 400 meters in, I'm like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to swim anymore. I'm bored with this. I want to be done. And it's just like freaking like the Nemo movie. Just keep swimming. Just
I don't know where you're at as far as distance wise, but I'm consistently at 2,000 meters and over now.
oh, you're
So
more than me then,
yeah,
because
I'm not
because
less than, well, I got to stop. Hold on. I got to stop and like catch my breath and regroup now.
okay, okay,
A lot of times. Okay.
yeah,
But, I just at least I'm going through what my training schedule tells me to. I make sure I get at least the mileage and the time in and all that. So I'm up to 2,200 meters and I definitely understand that, man. Once I hit 1,000 meters, I'm just like, keep going. Cause that's freaking, for me in my gym, that's 80 links.
Oh, yes, that's a lot more.
I'm a 25-meter pool.
Okay, no, that's what I have. I just don't, I'm not doing the math in my mind. Yeah, I'm 25 meters as well.
Four
Yep.
links is 100 meters. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm up to 80 of them now. And that's just a lot of dang laps. And the run and bike, like I'm not gonna lie, I put headphones in. I know I can't during the Ironman, I get it, but
Yeah.
training, I'm still rocking tunes where in the pool, I don't, it's just you, yourself, and water, you know?
I had a buddy of mine. I was just talking with him yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. He went out and bought like pool safe headphones. He pops in these headphones that wrap around kind of the back of his head, and he swims with music. And I thought about it. My thing is this whole triathlon thing is so gosh darn expensive, and my wife has been supportive of me buying to what I've bought so far. I don't want to buy one more piece of technology that I mean, honestly, if I'm not training for triathlons anymore, I'm probably not swimming. I'm just being real with you, right? Like maybe I'll keep riding bike because I've starting to enjoy that a little bit. Uh, but swimming is something I do for this preparation. It's not something I think, ooh, I get to go swim today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love swimming. I don't like swimming.
If I could just save it about 500 meters, I'll be okay with continuing to swim. But I've looked at those headphones too, and I'm the same way, man. I'm a lot of money into this process, and maybe I'm really enjoying it. So I might continue the triathlon even after this.
Yeah.
So maybe next year I'll invest in those headphones so it comes
Uh,
time. Yeah, I'm not right either. They're
That's a
pretty
way
cool.
to look at it. That's a way to look at it. I actually did that with this whole podcasting thing. The first year I did it, I ran off of a $99 Yeti mic, and and I was like, you know what? Like I know my personality. If I conquer something, then I get bored with it sometimes. And I don't know when I'm gonna feel like I've conquered this thing, right? And so I wasn't gonna go and drop thousands of dollars on equipment until I felt like, yeah, I'm gonna stick with this for a while. And that was 2022 is when I went and actually bought like podcast production microphones and some lights and all that kind of stuff so that I could continue having fun with it. What else do you do? I mean, obviously, I mean, when it comes to triathlon training, Shane, I mean, I know, I mean, you're biking, you're swimming, you're running, you're probably doing some kind of muscle building training, whether it be, you know, body weight or weightlifting. What else do you do to take care of you so that you are showing up as this man that you want to be?
Yes, right. Yeah, I'm doing strength training as well. I do kettlebell workouts. But other than that, it's just, I'm going to meetings every once a week, and just working with other guys, helping them through their struggles. That's what really just it fills me up. But I do like to travel a lot. I like climbing. I was on a mountain team, so I really love being in the mountains. I went and did a Buddhist pilgrimage in Japan. Walked 750 miles, visited 90 Buddhist temples over a 2.5 month period.
Oh, wow.
And that changed everything for me. That's when I was able to let go of those attachments of the family and what I thought of my idea of what I had to be as a father, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm stuck on that idea for so long. Like I gotta win my ex-wife back. I gotta get my kids back. I was so focused on that because I thought I had to be there every day to like send them off to school and be their home. And I struggle with that idea, that concept a lot. And it really helped me let go of that and realize like, no, you don't have to be there to be a good father and to be a good person, right? So
Yeah.
did that. I did the Inca Trail, Machu Picchu. I went backpacking in Patagonia for a couple weeks. Um, and just started really learning healing cultures. They've been doing it for thousands of years. I really wanted to like figure it out, on how they were doing stuff. Because I really like the holistic style approach of healing.
Yeah.
And that's what I really love about Warriors Heart. We even kind of offer some holistic styles of healing as well, with like a Native American sweat lodge in Virginia. The fireside. The fireside is actually originates from the Indians, Native Americans, when they would go to war. They'd come back home to their tribe and they would sit in front of a fire, and their entire tribe would sit around a circle as that warrior shared his experience of battle. And what that did is it's kind of like having your cup, right? It's overflowing of this trauma. It's just pouring out to the point where the cup's not sustaining anymore. So by sharing it, I'm pouring in each one of these people's cups. And it's such a small amount, it has no effect on them. But for me, it's huge. It took my cup from overflowing to half, right? So then
Yes.
big part of why we have the fireside and the holistic styles of healing, like the Native American Sweat Lodge, where you can just go completely purify and cleanse all of that BS out of you and just sit there in meditation and prayer while the Native Americans are singing and hitting the drums. And it's just such a it's like it's just really holistic, like impactful way of just sitting there and hearing it all. And it's really awesome.
And is that at both Bandera and at Virginia, or is it just one of them, the Native
But
American
the
sweat?
Sweat Lodge is just at Virginia for right now.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I
You
love
should,
it.
if you ever make it out to Virginia, you should definitely attend those one of those, man. It is an experience, a very spiritual experience. Like
Yeah,
no,
it's gonna happen at some point. I want to get to. I'd love to get to both locations. I've been in. I mean, Lisa's been great and has invited me. Come out, Chris. Let us know when you're coming. We'll treat you well. It just isn't the right timing. Right now it isn't the right timing for everything else I got going on in life, and so the timing will come.
yeah. It'll
And
come when it comes, right? When the
yeah,
universe provides that you'll know, and that's when it's time,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Jordan invited me to Frontline Healing. I guess they're having a fundraiser. I think it's for Frontline Healing, and so I was looking at the calendar, and it didn't coincide with some other things that we got going on, some big stuff we got going on as a family. My old self would have forced it. My old self would have been like, "Well, I'm going to make both things happen," and I would have created a bunch of stress for myself and other people in my life. I'm a lot better at setting boundaries right now and recognizing I can't do it all the time. I
Yeah.
I have to really figure out what's the great things for me to do today. Focus on those. And the other stuff can work itself out tomorrow and the next day and next year. And with me giving stuff time like that, I found out that some of the stuff wasn't very important, right? With time, I realized, yeah, that wasn't really a priority. And then the other is like the true friends in my life, they've been really cool about me setting boundaries. They've been really cool about me being like, yeah, it's just not going to work out right now, man.
Yeah.
And for all the other flim flam that aren't cool with me setting a boundary that I need to, I don't need those relationships.
No, you don't, because obviously I kind of feel like they have some work they may need to do as well, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, right? Yeah, and absolutely, yeah, 100%. I still battle with the boundary situations every once in a while, where I kind of because I just want to help everybody, but then at night I pray on it, and I meditate on it, and then I just kind of let it go at that point. That's what's helped me so far. But yeah, I kind of find myself still wanting to do it all. So
Oh,
I
I
think
do.
you're right.
Yep, I do as well. I do as well. And I try to keep people in my life that kind of help me with that because I know my personality. My personality is a yes person. When it comes to people that need help, I want to say, absolutely. Yeah, what do you need? And so having people in my life that can really be good discerners for me. And it's not that I'm not capable of discerning. I am. But I like having friends and family members that I can be like, hey, can I bounce something off you? And I share it with them, and they give me insight, and then I got to go make a decision as a grown man. But I think before my pride kept me from doing that.
Yeah. Oh
You know,
yeah.
right? My pride kept me. I should be able to figure this stuff out, and it's not that difficult. It's just again, in the Bible it says, "As iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another." And um, whether people prescribe to the Christian faith or not, that concept of kind of like what you were saying earlier about how you work in teams, right? You work as brothers and sisters, and the power that comes when you have people that are going to walk alongside of you and help you through things uh, is just through the roof. It just amplifies it so much more. My therapy was accelerated because of my brothers and sisters at the house that I went to at the PTSD Recovery Center, and like you said, when I first got out, it was a shock getting back home for me. Everyone else was going off to work, and I'm at home. And I didn't get into an outpatient therapy. There was like a 3 or 4 week break. It just took a while because of the next group that was starting up. And I leaned on my brothers during that time because it was a rough month. And thankfully, I had great people to lean on and that supported me and walked with me through it. But it was a rough go. That's why I love of what you do with this alumni director. I love, and it doesn't surprise me that Warriors Heart has that type of program. Just recognizing when, if someone does 42 or 52 days here, they ain't fixed.
No,
Pretty much surgery took place is what happened. And
yeah,
if you have
100%.
massive surgery, you have to do physical therapy after the massive surgery to build back up your strength. And when you go to a PTSD recovery center, man, you had massive surgery done, and now you have to continue to do that work to get back to being who you are. You know,
I love that analogy you just said. I'm gonna have to steal that. I'm not gonna lie.
do 100%.
Yeah, I really love that. Yeah, it's because that you are 100% correct. It's just like we just went through major reconstruction surgery, right? And now it's time for physical therapy to continue that, to really dial it in and get back to where we need to be and thriving in life, right?
Yeah.
Performing in all aspects of performing. I
The
really love
thing
it.
the thing I didn't like about what I said, and I heard myself say it, is getting back. Because as humans, we can, like we want to get back. I want everything to be okay again. I want everything to be normal. Well, here's the thing. There's a good chance that it's not going to be. Some people it is, right? You go to Warrior's Heart, you go back, continue to serve in the military. I love it. God bless you. You're a first responder and you go back to your first responder job. I think that's awesome. Like that's what I want. I did that in 2010. I didn't check myself into a place, but I did outpatient therapy and went back into my job and really enjoyed my job for another 13 years. Um, but we also have to be okay with the fact that some things are just going to be different. And
Yeah,
it's okay to build a new life that's different, that's not reflective, that's not identical to what we thought the dream was before. So,
yeah, 100% agree. 100, the only thing is, the only thing I would challenge on that would be, it's like, but you are getting back. You're getting back your control of not even necessarily control, but you're getting your mind back of
yes.
out of that fog, that cloud, that darkness place, like no longer controls you. You're getting that back, if that makes sense.
A
Like that's
100%.
and I thought you did a really good job because I understood it as that you're getting that. I don't want to say control because we need to relinquish that. It's when we think we're in control, it's when we go down a negative way. But
Yeah.
like you're getting yourself, your mind back from the demons.
Yeah.
That's what you're getting back,
Yeah.
you know?
And then with that back, you get to do these remarkable things like going and hiking around Europe and everywhere else that in Asia and all these things that you got the chance to do. You get to sit there and go, you know what? I'm going to do a freaking triathlon. And whatever it is, become a painter. I don't care. Become fluent in 5 languages, but with your mind back. And it wasn't just my mind. Really trying to think of the right way to say this. I felt safe being around me.
Yeah, yeah,
I felt comfortable to be around me because there was a time there that I was scared of me. I was
yeah.
scared of me. I was scared of what I might do to myself or to others, and that's a pretty scary place to be, especially when you're a warrior, especially when you have been the instrument to protect other people through the choices in your profession, and now you view yourself. I viewed myself as the enemy,
I
and that's a
viewed myself as the enemy as well.
yeah,
Exactly. Thought the only way I could protect my family, because I didn't care about hurting myself. It was the fact that I was hurting the ones that I love the most. And and if I am in my mindset, if I am this all protector, then that includes protecting them from myself. And that was my mindset. And it's just wrong thinking like that. And then how I should protect them is by fixing myself, getting
yes,
help, and becoming that person that they need in their life. Because what I would have done if I would have killed myself, I would have caused a rest of a lifetime of damage on my children and the
yes,
people that were important and close to me.
yeah,
Right? I would have hurt them way worse. But in my crazy mind at that time, I didn't see it like that.
yeah. Yeah, and I want people to hear that message, I guess. You and I, even though some of our details would probably be a little bit different if we went into the moment by moment, we both had a similar experience like that. And I want people to hear that. That's what you are getting back. You're getting back feeling comfortable in your own skin. You're getting
Yeah.
back being able to make decisions as you move forward in life, in being the man, the woman that you want to be. Um, and that's a pretty powerful thing. It's a pretty powerful thing to have back. I'm loving life right now. And life
Yeah.
isn't perfect. Hardship
No.
still happens, but I'm loving this experience that I'm getting right now.
And I'm not going into those dark places that I was so scared to be in, right? And I
Yep.
hated couldn't even look myself in the mirror. And I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of what I do. And it's a long time since I've been able to say those words. And to
Wow.
even look at myself in the mirror, I'm
Mm,
talking a long time before I could look at myself, and like engage with people with eye contact. I'd always look down all the time, just it was just so shameful of who I was and lost and like I was just like, how did I even get here? It just happened so quick, but it didn't happen quick. But
no.
when my mind came awake, it was like, how you here?
Yeah. I think it was a slow fade, but it was sudden for me as well, just like you said. I think it was a slow fade of me. It's kind of like you think about an airplane. Here's the Air Force guy. An airplane only being half of a degree off of its course. Same thing with land nav. If you're only a half of degree off, but you're not paying any attention to the geographical features of the terrain, you walk for 50 miles or 100 miles, you're really far off track at this point. That half a degree has a huge consequence down the road. And I think that's what, well, I know that's what happened to me is I made a few, I mean, there was things that happened to me, experiences I had, but then some of my choices in coping with those was a slow fade. And,
Yeah,
and, and then all of a sudden I got to where I was like, holy smokes, like what happened here? And
I'm completely on a different continent.
yeah,
Like how did I
yeah,
land? How did I get so far off track that I'm supposed to be over here and I'm completely different universe or however you want to look at it. And you're like, and then you can't figure out a way back.
yeah.
I have no idea how to get it back.
Hey Shane, I have no doubt that people that this episode that someone's going to hear your voice, hear your story, and they're probably going to want to reach out. Maybe they're just going to want to follow your craziness that you're up to with these freaking Ironmans. What are ways that people can follow what's going on, or maybe they want to start a Warriors Anonymous chapter in their area? How can they connect with you?
Yeah, they can go on warriorsheart.com/connect. And then they can also call Warriors Heart or just get on the Warriors Heart website. Look up the alumni program. We also offer a page on there for the WA. If guys are interested, you can submit a form. I receive those forms and I can help them stand up WAs and add them onto their websites and get them rolling. Please, yes, you do not have to be an alumni to be part of the WA. I want to just make sure that is clear. We're here to support everyone, and that's the point of the WA is support the warrior class.
I
And
love it.
yeah, man. So just yeah, if anybody wants to reach out to warriorsheart.com. It's the
I
best way.
love it. Well, for the listeners, I'm going to make that really easy. Each of those links are going to be down in the show notes. I'm also going to throw in the Warriors Heart handles for Instagram and Facebook because every once in a while, if you follow those, you'll see Shane sporting his very manly wetsuit or whatever else he has going on, sharing a little bit about this journey.
One with my pink floaties. Did you catch that one?
Yeah, that's important, man. You don't want to get run over by a boat, depending.
Oh man, you can. Yeah, yeah. You never know. And plus, it was my first open water swim. I had that protection in case I cramped up or something.
Yeah, I like that big. It looked like you had a some kind of tether with some kind of inflatable behind you. We do that when we swim in our river as well, just so that boats can see that there's a
Yeah.
swimmer in the water. So
And like for me, it's like in case I cramped up or something at least I grab onto. Like
yeah,
kind of keep my way to the shore or something. But
dual purpose, dual purpose.
yeah, yeah,
Hey Shane, time is my greatest commodity. I can't make more of this stuff, brother, and not just in this episode, but in our other conversations, our texts with each other. You've given me a lot of yours already, brother, and I just appreciate you genuinely. Thank you.
yeah. I appreciate you too, man. And then I'm excited on this journey that we're on. I love hearing about your Ironman experiences, and I'm honored to be on your podcast and the work that you're doing, the message that you're sending, man. Everybody needs to hear it. We need to bring our brothers and sisters home. And yeah, 22 veterans a day and one police officer every 19 hours. That's just not stat. We need to get that we need to get that under control.
Yeah,
No reason anybody should take their own life.
I
None.
agree. And I think it's something we can. It's going to take a lot more work, but we've come so far compared to where we were a couple decades ago. The fact that we're having a podcast talking about this right now, right? Two dudes are coming forward talking about their experience. And I think that's a huge thing. We just need to keep the work going forward.
Exactly. Change this culture, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
I love it. All right. Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Wow, folks, what did you think about that interview with Shane? Just, I'm amazed by people's willingness to come on podcasts, and I know I do it, but like this is my show, folks, right? Like this is kind of my thing, and all these other folks that are willing to come on the show and talk about some of the deepest secrets, some of the darkest times that they've experienced in life, and they're doing it because they want to help other humans. I loved the fact that I learned during this episode about Warriors Anonymous, an AA group that's only for first responders and military veterans, and the fact that Warriors Heart will help you launch that in your area, and you don't even have to have been an alumni. You don't have to go to Warriors Heart first. If you think that's something that's beneficial in your area, Warriors Heart will help you with that. I think that's great. Hey, folks, Jaimie and I want to hear from you. How are we doing here on the podcast? There's a few different ways for you to support us and to communicate back to us. First and foremost, please follow us on whatever podcast platform you're listening on. That will cause the next episode to come up in your dashboard. We also ask that you rate and review us. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, there's 5 stars waiting on the main page, and we'd really appreciate a 5-star rating. That will cause these episodes to get previewed to other people that maybe haven't heard about it yet. But folks, you've heard me say this. Those are your stars. And if we haven't earned your stars, folks, instead keep them. Shoot me an email at chris@gravityct.com. Let me know how to make a better future Mighty Monday motivational ideas or guests for me to interview. Folks, we only get to live this life once. Let's go out and take care of the people in our tribes. Take care of each other. God bless.